Hello, welcome to another edition of the Burke Briefing. Today I have with me Assistant City Manager, Mr. Aaron King. Mr. King will answer questions that many of our citizens have regarding street resurfacing. Hello, Mr. King. Many questions are being asked about street resurfacing. Can you tell me how street resurfacing is addressed within the city?
Yeah, good morning, Councilmember Burke. In June of last year, City Council awarded a contract in the amount of $7.5 million to APAC Thompson Arthur for street resurfacing within the city limits. And so what staff does is we take that $7.5 million and we equally divide that between our 8 wards so that each ward in the city receives an equal allotment of street resurfacing money. And so that work, we went under contract with the vendor last year. Work began, and about 25% of that contract was completed last year before the asphalt plants shut down. The plants recently reopened, and our contractor is in the process of remobilizing. Citizens should see the remainder of that 75% of that contract, the work on that beginning soon, and that work will be completed by the end of the calendar year.
Thank you, Mr. King. Next question. How does the city go about prioritizing which streets will be resurfaced first?
So what we do is we evaluate all the city streets, and we have a scoring index. And so we look at things like pavement quality, deterioration of the pavement, cracking, and things of that nature, and we have a detailed matrix we use to score and classify those streets. And so we rank them from poorest to best condition. And so what we do each time we enter into a street resurfacing contract, we start with the streets that are in the worst condition, and we put those to the top of the list so that they can get addressed first. We come up with a staff recommendation, and we present that to our council members so they can take a look at that and ultimately work with our council members to refine the list of the streets that will actually get resurfaced in the order they need to be.
Okay, so what you're saying is the streets are prioritized based on condition?
That is correct.
Okay, thank you so much. Another question, how do we address potholes in the city?
So that's a good question, and certainly pertinent for this time of year. We've just come out of the winter when our streets really take a pounding from the winter weather. So should citizens have issues with potholes, they can call CityLink 311 and report those. Our staff will address those, and our typical turnaround time is about 24 hours. We are dealing with some staffing vacancies right now, so if the citizens can be patient with us, we will get to those as soon as possible, but know that when those are reported to CityLink 311, they will get into our system and they will get addressed.
Mr. King, thank you for this valuable information. I know that many of our citizens ask about potholes, and now they know how to address them by dialing 311. Thank you so much for coming on to the Burke Briefing today and sharing this valuable information about street resurfacing. And thanks again for tuning in to another Burke Briefing.